They told you that two incomes were the answer. They said once both of you are working, money problems disappear. They said that's how families get ahead now. They said that's just how the world works. So you believe them. Both of you wake up early, both of you work all day, both of you come home tired, and somehow you're still stressed about money. The bills feel heavy, savings don't grow. One surprise expense messes up the whole month, and you start thinking something that feels wrong to say out loud. How are we both working full time and still feel broke? On paper, it looks great. Two paychecks, decent jobs, middle class life. But in real life, more pressure, more fixed bills, more things that have to be paid no matter what, and way less breathing room. This video is about why two incomes can actually leave you worse off than one. Not because you're lazy, not because you're bad with money, but because there's a quiet trap built into the system, something called the two income trap. And most Americans fall into it without ever realizing what's happening. No hype, no get rich quick stuff, just real life, real numbers, and real clarity. I'm Ryan. My goal is to make finance simple, practical, and stress-free. I'm not here to give you some quick get-rich scheme, but I promise you, you will get massive value from this video. Point number one. They told you two incomes would give you stability. Instead, it gave you bigger bills. They told you that once both of you were working, life would finally feel stable. More money coming in, less stress, more freedom. So you planned your life around that idea. You picked the apartment you could afford with two incomes. You bought the house the bank approved using both salaries. You signed up for car payments, insurance, and monthly bills assuming nothing would ever change. And at first, it worked. The checks came in, the bills got paid, life looked normal. But here's the problem nobody warns you about. When your life is built on two incomes, every expense grows to match both incomes. Your rent isn't based on what one person can handle. Your mortgage isn't sized for one paycheck. Your lifestyle slowly stretches until it needs both of you working all the time. That's the trap. You don't feel rich, you feel locked in. Because now, missing even one paycheck feels dangerous. If one of you gets laid off, gets sick, needs time off, burns out, the whole system starts shaking. And this is why two-income households often feel more fragile, not less. It's not that you're spending wildly. It's that your fixed costs are too big to flex. Fixed costs are the bills you can't easily cut. Housing, cars, insurance, child-related expenses. Once those are sized for two incomes, there's no cushion. Here's the eye-opening part. In older generations, one income paid the bills, and the second income was a backup. Today, both incomes are already spoken for. That backup is gone. You're not building security, you're maintaining balance. And balance is fragile. One small hit and everything feels stressful again. This doesn't mean two incomes are bad. It means building a two-income lifestyle is risky. Real stability doesn't come from earning more. It comes from needing less. If your basic life can't survive on one income, then both of you are working under pressure, whether you feel it or not. And pressure changes how people live, work, and make decisions. That's the first part of the two-income trap. Point number two. They told you two incomes meant more money. They never told you about the hidden costs. They told you that if both of you work, you'd have extra money. More room to save, more room to invest, more room to breathe. But what they didn't tell you is this. Two incomes come with costs you don't see on your paycheck. And those costs quietly eat up the second income. Let's break this down in plain English. When both people work full-time, life gets more expensive, even if you're not trying to live fancy. First, taxes. The second income usually gets taxed harder because it stacks on top of the first one. So that paycheck already shrinks before it hits your bank account. Then comes work-related stuff. Two jobs usually mean two commutes, more gas, more car wear and tear, sometimes a second car. That's real money leaving every month. Now add kids. If you have children, someone has to watch them. Daycare in the US is expensive, sometimes crazy expensive. For many families, childcare alone eats up a huge chunk of the second income. And even if you don't have kids yet, there's another cost people forget: time. When both of you are exhausted, you cook less, you order more food, you pay for convenience, takeout, delivery, cleaners, subscriptions, little time savers. None of these feel big on their own, but together they add up fast. Here's the painful part. At the end of the year, the second income often looks like this: big on paper, small in real life. After taxes, work costs, childcare, and convenience spending, what's left is sometimes shockingly low. And yet, your lifestyle keeps growing. Why? Because banks, landlords, and car dealers look at your gross income, not your leftover energy or stress. So you qualify for bigger things: more debt, more monthly pressure. That's how two incomes trick people into thinking they're richer than they actually are. You're not drowning because you're bad with money. You're drowning because the system encourages you to spend money you never truly get to keep. And once your life depends on both incomes showing up every month, freedom quietly disappears.
Point number 3. They told you two incomes meant freedom, but it took away your options. They told you that working more would give you more freedom, more choices, more safety, more control over your life. But for a lot of couples, the opposite happened. The more both of you worked, the fewer options you had. Because when your entire life is built on two incomes, neither income is optional anymore. You can't slow down. You can't step back. You can't take risks. If one person wants to change careers, go back to school, start a business, take time off for health or family, the answer becomes, we can't afford it. Not forever, not even temporarily. That's the real danger of the two income trap. It's not about money, it's about flexibility. Older generations had something modern families often don't: margin. One income paid the bills. The second income was a safety net. If something went wrong, they had to move. Today, that safety net is already in use. Both incomes are locked into the mortgage, the cars, the insurance, the monthly grind. So when life hits, and it always does, there's no cushion. This is why so many couples feel stuck even when they earn good money. They're not poor, they're fully committed. Here's the mindset shift that actually helps. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need one person to stop working. You need to build your life so it could survive on one income if it had to. That's it. When your basic expenses can be covered by one income, the second income becomes powerful. You can save aggressively. You can invest consistently. You can handle surprises without panic. That's where real security comes from. Not from earning more, from needing less. This doesn't mean living miserably. It means saying no to some upgrades today, so you can say yes to options later. Driving a cheaper car, buying a smaller house, ignoring pressure to keep up. Because freedom doesn't come from how much you make. It comes from how much control you have over your time and decisions. Two incomes don't automatically make you rich, but building margin does. And once you have margin, money finally starts working for you instead of against you. If this video made you think differently about money, you're not alone. Drop a comment and tell me, does your life depend on two incomes right now, or are you working toward flexibility? And if you want more videos that explain money in a real, honest way, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.